everybody, welcome to our May Global Stampin' Up! Share Fair. We're very excited that we're in a new group. We decided new catalogue, new group because the old group was getting really big and there were so many fantastic videos in there. So that group has been archived, which means that you can no longer post comments in there, but it is still available. So if you want to go back and have a look at any of the projects that we've made or watch those videos, that group is still available for you to view. My name is Tracy Helt. I'm in Melbourne in Australia and I am the regional admin for Australia and New Zealand, although at the moment we don't have any demonstrators from New Zealand, but I'll keep working to try and get us a few. The show special for today is a fun fold tutorial. So it is a single tutorial, but we've each done a card which is made with the stamp sets that we're using in our project. So it gives you a really fun card to do with lots of different ideas of how to make it up so that it looks slightly different. To get that tutorial, you need to place an order with a minimum value. So it's $50 in the United States and Canada, $45 for Australia, and £30 for the UK. Right, now that we've been through all of that, let me show you my card that we're making today. Right, so this is my card. Maybe looks a little bit ordinary, but wait, and I'm hoping that we're going to get to see it. It opens up like that. I'm trying to see how you can see it on camera. So that's what my card is going to look like. And I'm not going to go through all the measurements as I'm going. I'll give you the important one for the Z fold, but when I post the picture of the card, I'll put all those measurements in the comments. So let's get going. Right, so like I said, this sort of Z fold piece is going to be the important one. So that is going to be 15 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters, which is 6 inches by 5 inches. I have already scored this just because it is basic scoring. There wasn't anything special that you needed to see on the scoring. Can you see those score lines there? So that's scored at 5 centimeters and 10 centimeters, which is 2 inches and 4 inches if you're working in inches. And we're going to just fold that to make a Z fold and give it a good crease. Okay, so we'll set that aside for the moment. Then taking my standard card base, this time I'm doing it in Flirty Flamingo because I've used the slightly different DSP from the Sand and Sea DSP pack. So we're folding that in half. And I need 3 pieces of DSP. And again, standard size, your normal first layer size. And we're going to stick that onto the front of the card. Now, the important thing for your front and your inside is that when we stick it, you're only sticking on the edges, okay? So don't put any glue in the middle over here. And it doesn't matter, you can have the color whichever way you like, either the pink up or the blue up. So getting a little bit messy, but okay, so that's the first one. The one that's going on the inside, again, I'm only putting glue around the edges. And my third piece which is going on the inside. This one I can put my glue in the middle as well. Right, so there we've got the 3 pieces, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take my layering circle, I'm going to place it in the middle of the front, so make sure that you're putting it onto the side that has the DSP on both ends. Sorry, I just want to get rid of this piece of paper that's in my way. So on the side that's got the DSP on both ends, don't cut through your inside piece, and we're going to run that through the Big Shot or your cut and emboss machine. And here's one I prepared earlier. So there's my card. Oops, it'll open if I hold it the right way. We're going to pop that out. Keep your Flirty Flamingo circle. We're still going to use it. Those 2 pieces of DSP you can set aside. You've got nice circles that you can use for whatever else. Okay, so that's our card done. Let's do our stamping next. Now, when we were talking as a group, we decided that one of our best stamping tools is the Stamparatus, and we thought that we would show you how we use it for different things. You can use it for different techniques, different ideas. I'm probably using it for the most boring way of using it, but it's the most useful, and that is for positioning my stamps. So I have gone ahead and positioned those stamps already, and I've put the sentiment and the picture on one stamp, so I'm going to get it stamped straight, and one stamp is doing all my stamping for me. So let's grab my paper. Now, because I'm using the photopolymer stamps, you want to have a mat which is giving you that extra height and cushioning for the stamp. The Stamparatus does come with a plain black mat. This one that I've got in here is actually the deluxe foam mat. Deluxe because it's got my grid paper already printed on it. That is a separate purchase with the Stamparatus, and if you don't have that, then you can just use the mat that comes with it, but you will want grid paper. Either cut up one of your grid sheets, or you can buy the grid paper that fits this, because that helps you with your positioning. So I'm going to put one of my little stamps there. These magnets are super strong, so be careful with those. And it comes with 2 magnets. You don't want to clang them together because they are rare earth magnets and they will break. So be really careful with those magnets. So I'm going to ink up my stamps. And you can see these stamps have been well used. They're stained. And we're going to stamp down. Now, the super nice thing about this is because it is positioned exactly. If you decide that you haven't stamped that well, you didn't ink your stamp up well enough, just ink it up again, stamp over, and it will stamp perfectly in place. Now, what you can do, which I haven't done because I'm being lazy that I don't want to clean the stamps in between, but I could flip this plate around and have my next lot of stamps on this side so that we can use each plate twice. But I'm going to go 1, and I've got my other plate, which I've now got ink on my fingers, so we have ink on my... Okay. Now, if you watched my intro video, I said, did anybody notice what was unusual about the stamp set? And I assure you it wasn't planned, but this is actually the same stamp set that I used last year for our very first share fair. And I didn't realize when we were setting up for this, I thought about the card that I wanted to do. I thought about which stamp set I wanted to use. And I just went with it. And it was only a few weeks ago when I was looking through some cards that I realized I'd used the exact same stamp set. So I guess that can be my thing. If it carries over into the new catalogue, and if I remember when we get into the new catalogue group next year, I will use the same stamp set. Okay, so that's that done. I'm then going to just grab a piece of paper because I've got some extra stamps. So I'm going to stamp a few little flowers. So we're going to do one there, and I'll do on the top here. And for this card, I'm going to put a piece that we can write on the back. So I'm going to do a little bit of stamping on there as well, just in the corner. Okay, now the other thing that I've done, and I did this before I positioned my stamps onto the plate, is I've stamped out 2 shoes and a perfume bottle. So let's do some coloring here. So I told you we had all these different blends, like light and dark smoky slate, dark flirty flamingo, dark polished pink, and dark soft succulent. And I've got my polished pink ink, and I had so saffron, I think that it's dropped, but let me just see what's happened to my so saffron ink pad. Here it is, hiding behind my computer. Okay, so with the So Saffron ink, I'm taking the splot that comes with this and I'm stamping it onto my perfume bottle. And I'm going to stamp it onto the perfume bottle for the inside of the card. I'm then going to colour in my shoes with my Flirty Flamingo. Now, I'm not a big one on colouring. I know that some people love colouring. Not for me. But quick and easy, I can deal with that. So shoes coloured in, and we need to colour the lipstick. I'm going to go with a bit of the light smoky slate just on the inside over there, and fill in the rest of it with the dark. So it gives us that Little bit of a shine on the inside. And we're going to have polished pink lipstick, nice and bright. And I'm going to do my leaves just with a little stripe of the soft succulent. Do you all love the new in colors? I have to say that this time around I actually can't decide which one is my best. I love the pinks, I love pale papaya, and although greens are not normally my colors, I like the green as well. And the last bit of stamping that we're going to do is I'm going to just stamp this little insert into the roses. And that one's leaves didn't get coloured. Sorry leaves, you weren't supposed to be rejected. Right, so that's all our stamping done. Now the last couple of things that we need before we start assembling the card is I'm going to have a piece of vellum that again I've cut with my layering circles die. So that's that sort of smaller one. And I've cut a frame where I took my larger scalloped edge die, cut that out, and cut the circle that I used to cut the circle from the middle of my card here out of it. So I've just been left with that edge. Right, now that we've got all our bits and pieces together and ready to go, let's start assembling. So making sure that you've got your insert the correct way around. Okay, we want it going that way, so I guess if you're looking at it, it's almost like a back to front Z. Okay, but that's going to be important. So I had a piece of DSP which was going to stick on the front there, and it's over here. It was the wrong way around, so I couldn't see it. I was looking for the colors and not the shells. So we're sticking that DSP onto the front bit. Then I seem to have too much stuff here today. I haven't got enough place for to show you my card and everything that I'm working on. So then we've got the next bit and my final bit. Now you can see that when you're using the blends, it does bleed through the cardstock, but that's okay. We're not going to see it anyway. So there we go. Our inside bit is ready to go. Now when I'm sticking this, I'm going to use my tear and tape. You want a really strong adhesive because this is going to have quite a bit of pressure on it when it's opening and closing. So Now, I'm going to just yank this off. I'm going to try and yank. Oh, no, that didn't work very well. I ripped the tape instead of the... Okay, now be careful before you stick this. We want to position it. So I want this to be sticking, that it's towards this side of the card. So if I open it here, you can see that it's more towards the edge. But when you turn it over, you're going to get confused. So it's this edge that we want to be sticking on. We want it going that way so that it's right way up. And we want it on the edge of the circle. Okay, so I'm going to position it kind of there. Try and hold it that it's staying straight. And then close your card. Give it a good press. Okay. Then I'm going to take my circle and we're going to stick that back in there. Again, you want something that's giving you a really good stick. But before I do that, now when I did my card, it was before the retired list had come out. So on my original here, I'd actually used that from the layered ovals, which we don't have in the catalogue anymore. But we've got the circle punch, or rather the double oval punch, which works just as well. So you can see it's slightly bigger, but that's okay. So I'm going to go with that. I just want to have a look. I don't know why. I don't know whether nobody's commenting or whether they're not coming up. So hopefully you're all watching and enjoying this and are able to follow exactly what I'm doing, because I'm not seeing any comments, but that's okay. So we're putting a little bit of glue on there. I'm sticking that behind my circle. So that's going to be my tab that I'm going to pull on to open up my card. And then putting this in here again, we want that really strong stick. So I'm going to work, it looks a little bit strange, but I'm going to work this way so that I can see exactly where I'm putting my tape, because I want it that it's sticking to the panel rather than going all the way through. And before I stick my circle in, I'm going to stick my frame onto the front. Be careful with the glue, you want a light hand here, because otherwise it's going to squish out everywhere. And because we've cut the inside out of the same shape as, or the same die as we cut the circle, it should fit around here exactly. And then we can open up the tear and tape. I did have my pick it up tool, but I don't know where I don't know what it is with me and lives, but things always seem to disappear. Right, so I've got the tape. I've got my card facing the right way. I'm going to stick my circle so it's going back into the space that it came out of. Now I'm going to just roughly position my vellum. I don't want to stick the vellum yet because I want to stick my bottle and my shoes on first, so that when I put the glue behind the vellum I can put it behind these pieces, because otherwise the glue shows through the vellum. So we're gonna stick on my perfume bottle. I don't know why it's bending. I'm going to turn it that way because then maybe it'll flatten a bit. Okay, so perfume bottle, and we'll position one shoe that it's going slightly behind the bottle. And as long as my shoe's going to stay in its circle, it doesn't matter if it's slightly over the vellum. And its friend is going next to it. And I can now see where I can put the glue on the vellum so that it's not going to show through. There we go. And the last thing is going to be to stick a bit on the back so that we can write our message. Go. And there's our card. Okay, so quite a fun card. It'll work with any of, I just want that shoe to come out. Oops, there we go. See if I can shift it over just a little bit because it's gone just fractionally too far over the edge that it's catching. We don't want it going over the frame. There we are, that looks better. Right, so there's my cards. I hope that you've enjoyed that. Let me just give you a bit of information now. So I'm going to create an album. I'll upload this picture to the album. I just realized I missed the most important thing. I haven't put any sparkle on, and bling makes everything better. So I'm using those silver and clear epoxy essentials. I've gone with the silver ones. You can use the clear ones, but I just didn't know that they would look as effective, so silver it is. Oh, I think that I just ripped that off. Oh, I pulled off two. And you can just put them wherever you like. That looks better. Now we've got some sparkle on the card. And the other sparkle, normally sparkle's my main thing, I don't know why I'm forgetting it today, is we need some Wink of Stella on the lipstick tube. There we go. Now I feel like everything's complete because all the sparkles are in place. Okay, now let's tell you. So I'm going to upload a picture of this card into the album. I'll put the measurements and also this video link into that album so that you can go back and watch that whenever you want. Everybody, as they've done their presentations, will upload pictures of their cards, so you'll be able to see the cards. You'll be able to see which videos you've seen, which you haven't seen, which you still want to see, because I know that Facebook tends to hide things. Remember to place your order with the demonstrator that's invited you to this share fair. You'll get that tutorial, like I said to you, really fun cards in that. And if you decide you need a whole heap of stuff, Stampin' Up! Has a promotion on at the moment where you're getting extra hostess benefits. So in Australia, if your order's $400, you will get an extra $40 worth of hostess benefits on top of what you've already earned. So that's a big bonus, and that's running through until the 4th of June. Now, Annette's up next. She is away at the moment, but she's created a video for us. She didn't want to miss out. She's done her beautiful card all recorded. I do have that video, so bear with me for 1 minute and I'm going to upload that for you. And once Annette's done, Julia's going to be up at 1 o'clock our time. So I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll be back a little bit later to sign off. Speak to you soon. Bye.